This is going to be, as it turns out, a replacement stem for a pipe that I personally smoke that I originally had just been lazy with and put a preformed stem on, and you can see that I bit through it, and you can see how badly preformed stems tend to oxidize. So I'm going to actually splurge on myself here and make a hand-cut stem for one of my own pipes, and I am going to this time put an inlay in it so that I can demonstrate that for the website. But because I'm replacing a stem, I know how long my tenon needs to be, but I also need to add this inlay. So I need to turn a tenon long enough to include the inlay over it. You can see I've just drilled a 5/16 hole because that's the size of the tenon, and so I'll just turn a 5/16 tenon long enough to have both this inlay piece as well as a piece of vulcanite, so that stem is then it gets to the inlay, and then another piece of vulcanite, and then the tenon that will insert into the stumble. So I'm going to need to turn 5/16 worth of tenon about this far back in, so that just gives me a rough idea. I'll get more precise later. But again, we're turning, so I'm going to turn the speed of the machine all the way up. And these are just going to be quick cuts. I don't care about the finish, so it'll look pretty ugly, but it'll get it done quicker. Okay, I've turned the tenon down. Got enough length here to have the inlay on my tenon. I need to probably take just a little more length off, but I need to face off this side of the stem anyway, so that I'll have a very flush fit when I epoxy my inlay onto the vulcanite. But just wanted to demonstrate real quickly how important the exact diameter is. You can see that my inlay already fits, but my stummel barely fits. It's a little bit tight, tight enough that I'd be concerned about popping the shank, cracking the shank if I forced it on. So I'm in a good spot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to face off the front, epoxy this on, and then I'll probably need to take off 3 or 4 thousandths of an inch from the portion that will become the tenon that inserts into the stummel, so that I'll have an exact fit. So what I'm going to do now is face off the stem there. If I were doing just a normal tenon without an inlay, I would leave, as I faced off, I'd leave a little bit rubber there, scoot over, face it off a little more, and leave a little more. And then I would work to taper off that little amount of rubber that I left in that joint, just to give a little more stability to the tenon. And then we can chamfer the face of the shank there, so that the chamfer on the mortise lines up with the vulcanite that I've left in this seam with the tenon in the face of the shank, of the stem, and make just a stronger fit. But since I'm doing an inlay, I pretty much need to just make it straight so that I have a good fit on my inlay. I haven't chamfered that in, though I certainly could if I wanted to, but it's not really necessary. So I do one more facing one.